youtube.com. We're gonna close out Augusto. Yup.
Let me get the stream open on my other monitor.
I'm gonna like open up the. I'm gonna open up Send here and just look Juneteenth, yeah.
All right, it says one person watching. Me.
Nice, dude. Nice.
All right.
Is this stream like? Is the stream live? I need to go to the dashboard though. Okay.
Okay. I'm coming out very loud on the stream. I'm going to see if I can amend that by turning down my Discord input volume, or is it output volume?
Oh wait, you're coming out? Oh, cause it's accepting desktop audio and mic.
Okay. I'm just turning mine down. It's fine.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
All right. Let me see how that sounds. Turn it.
Okay, so like I'm seeing the
You can still hear me at this volume, right?
barely. Oh, I've turned you up to maximum, so.
Okay. Yeah, because I had my input. I just don't want to be overpowering on the YouTube.
Yeah.
I'll leave it like at 33.
Okay.
That seems to be a good amount. Okay.
Cool. Okay, so we are live on stream, right? Okay.
Yes, our stream currently is showing. We will be back soon, and they can hear us.
Sweet. Let's go to countdown here for fun.
Stop me. I'll just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling.
Alright, nice music.
And then once the timer goes down to 0,
yeah, they can still hear us as we're talking.
No, I am.
Alright. Well, there's about 15 seconds till Amazing Scratch Greatness. We have one person watching. We had 10 seconds ago.
Alright. It's a jam.
Alright, James, you are live.
James. We'll go ahead and kill the audio there. Welcome to stream. If you're here, tell us where you're from. We are going to shoot a little email reminder to those people who've forgotten. And I'm going to go ahead and do that now off screen as a nice little reminder. We'll BCC everyone so that you don't get each other's emails. So happy Juneteenth, everybody. Here is the link where to join us. But if you're already here, you don't need the link. But you can still share
Don't forget to blast at everyone here in the Coder Kid server.
That's right. Guess I could have sent it with loops and then it would have gone to 5,000 people. That'd be cool. But we're going to just jump straight into it and stop talking about doing it. So
let me get my camera set up so that way we can both be in there.
A lot of Juneteenth celebrations going on all over Houston today, all over the United States. Although Houston's definitely more of a hub for for obvious reasons, cultural reasons. So actually, I'm gonna put this on the right side. All right, Mr. Joe, you're gonna be in Discord with me. You're gonna be on the right side. I think we'll figure that out. Okay, perfect. For watching now, hey Sarah, welcome. Sarah no H. My daughter does have an H. Only a slight disagreement. Beautiful name. It means princess or noblewoman. Isn't that right? I mean, I hope so, because that's what we named my daughter. So it's, you either got that wrong or it sounds cool and it's correct.
All right. Oh, look, Sarah's in the chat.
Yep. Right on.
All right. Let me.
And we're just going to be stuck with a green screen today. We didn't take the time to key it out with a chroma key, so that's cool. But pretty soon I'm going to start sharing my screen. I'm going to go to scratch.mit.edu. We're going to learn to code our future and kind of a symbol of the past. Obviously, on Juneteenth, we are celebrating freedom from slavery. Wait, what? Joe's, you're on a loop.
Like, I know. My green screen background kicked in, but my face has not.
That's fantastic. Okay, awesome. Readerly, welcome. Where's everybody from? All right, Evan, welcome. Doing the class. That's awesome. So I'm going to kind of do some screen sharing, and I'm probably going to shrink myself even more. I think that's...
If you wanted to also add an element of myself in there, you can do that as well. Just add like new
like a new scene?
Desktop share, and then you can add me in.
Oh, dadgum. Okay, I could theoretically do that. Let me see if I can... This is not complicated at all. Joe, can you turn that GIF off? That is like...
Oh, yeah, I can totally turn that off. Or I can turn it into one that's a little bit flashbang-y.
Nah, I think you're all that we need, man. We're gonna go display capture. And what? Let's see. Which one has got you on it? There we go. Perfect. Okay. The only problem is it is huge. I'm really trying.
See, yeah. We shrink it down.
we're going way down here. You're gonna be bottom right here.
Works with me.
And I'm gonna be bottom left. And I think I'm gonna shrink myself even smaller. We're live, people. This is happening in real time. Let's get to the actual coding here. So with me I have Mr. Joe. I'm Mr. Thor. I own the company, and Mr. Joe, sorry to all the other instructors out there, is my top dog. He's my best. All you other instructors, if you're actually tuning in, you guys are going to get a bonus, all right? So that'd be great.
The secret bonus for tuning in.
Yeah, the secret bonus. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Create. If you're coding along with us, you want to go to scratch.mit.edu. Oh, Katy, Texas. Sarah's in Houston. Okay, cool. Well, I'm from Katy.
I'm from Houston.
Joe's in Spring Branch. Don't come at him. He's great though. We're actually both real teachers. I teach over at Pado High School And
I teach
Joe,
over at Yes Prep.
I didn't want to out you there, but yeah, so
You're
he's a
good.
real teacher during the school year as well. We're enjoying our summers. Perfect. So again, this is the basic canvas in Scratch for those that know. Evan, how familiar are you doing Scratch in general? Is this like your first time? Have you done it a bunch? I'm going to call this Juneteenth at the very top. You're welcome to create an account if you'd like. You don't have to. And you can also save your project and create an account later. But for the moment, we are going to... If I need to share my sprites, actually, bottom right, I think I'll just like turn you off for a second. But
Awesome.
we'll keep
First
going.
time Scratch Junior is our level. Awesomeness.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, so Scratch Junior, we're going to be doing animation today, really more than game making. And so the principles are going to be kind of broadly
What
applicable.
happens when I click this button?
There you go. Well, you've become two Mr.
Oh,
Joes.
cool.
That's what's happened.
I do become two Mr. Joes. When you click on that other one, it will bring up my Scratch work.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
So
here is... Oh, yeah. Okay, I see what we're doing there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and delete Scratch the Cat. Wow, it actually gives you... Are you sure you want to delete the sprite? That's probably good, ultimately. I think we've all deleted a fair number of sprites in our day that we did not want to delete. So today, the theme is Juneteenth, right? And the whole story behind Juneteenth is basically a delayed notification that the slaves were freed. So this is kind of a short summary, but Juneteenth, short for June 19th, marks the day in 1865 when Union troops arrived in Galveston, Texas, right next to us here, not too far of a drive, right? And announced the end of slavery more than 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation had been issued by President Abraham Lincoln in 1863. And on this Juneteenth, June 19th, Union General Gordon Granger read General Order Number 3, informing enslaved African Americans in Texas that they were free. Texas was the last Confederate state where slavery continued, so this day symbolized the true enforcement of emancipation across the U.S. Juneteenth has been celebrated ever since, often with festivals, music, food, prayer, and remembrance. It became a Texas state holiday in 1980 and was declared a federal holiday in 2021. So pretty recent, but not new to Houston, which is where we're celebrating it from. It stands as a powerful reminder of the long, unfinished journey toward freedom, justice, and equality. So that's just the whole reason we're even doing the stream today. And so on that theme, we're going to be symbolizing slavery with chains, and we're going to break those chains. And so that's going to be kind of the animation, is breaking chains.
sounds good. Can't wait to break these chains.
I'm not really good at drawing people, and so we're just going to skip people. But that's what it means. And the cool part of the project actually comes after you break the chains, because that's when you get to write your own story. So the whole theme about today is breaking chains and then building your future, right? So or creating your future. And so you get to tell your own story after that. So let's actually do it. So
without further ado, let's start breaking some chains.
That's right. So bottom right, this is where you can choose which sprite you want, and then also which backdrop you want.
You might want to move me to a different location.
Oh yeah, you know what? Nobody can see.
Because wherever you're clicking, I'm blocking all of it.
Yeah. I don't know where you wouldn't block. Okay, I'm just gonna turn you off
You can
for a
shrink me.
second.
Yes, you can turn me off, shrink
Boop.
me, move
Okay.
me into the top right corner. Actually, maybe the top right corner might be the best
But we're gonna be
because only buttons that are
animating
over
up there.
there. Oh, we are going to be animating up there. I'll be fine. I can be not here for a minute. Be invisible.
Well, we'll bring it back. We'll bring it back.
I'm here in spirit.
That's right. And in voice. Okay, perfect. So you're gonna click choose a sprite, but instead of choose a sprite, you're gonna want to hover over to paint. Okay. If you go to choose a sprite, you'll see a bunch of defaults here, but and that's great. You can use those later on, but right now we are going to go to paint. That's going to have that paintbrush icon. And this is where the whole editor is. And you can see that there's a little purple border around sprite number 1. And we're going to, I don't know, we're probably going to start with like a chain link. And then we're going to bring Joe back. Mr. Joe, my bad. Now, I think what we could do, I'm going to play around with some settings here. But I'm going to use the circle tool to start with. I'm going to change the black color to kind of a gray. And then the border, I'm going to change to be a lot thicker. And I'm going to kind of elongate it because chains, they're going to look a little bit more, not like perfect circles, right? Because that would like waste metal. So something like a thickness of 24, something like that. I don't even know what 24 what exactly, but 24. And so you have this gray ring around it. Now, here's the problem. You got purple in the middle, and that doesn't really make sense. So if you click on the fill color, there's a secret. And I'll do this like a couple of times. Because I'm going kind of fast. But the fill color, we're just going to go to this strike through. Yeah, so the next time I make one, you're not going to have any fill of any kind. Right? So every time I like click and drag the circle or this oval tool, there's not going to be anything behind it or anything filling it. Now, obviously, this is way too many. So we're just going to go back to the beginning. Oh, actually, this is where we're going to use the redo tool. So I undid too many times, and then the purple came back. Up here, there's an undo, and there's a redo. And it looks like I can't fix it, but gonna again click on the fill and click on the red cross through, and that's gonna make sure there's nothing in the middle. So I'm gonna click on the select tool, which is that top left. It's that arrow. I'm gonna click on this one, and I'm gonna just hit the backspace key or the delete key, or you can click on the trash can that says delete. Bada bing, it's gone. Then in a chain, typically the links are going to be around the same size, I think. And you know what? I'm taking a look at this, and I think it should be even thicker. Something like maybe 50.
I think if we're making chain links, I think what you can do for those chain links, because there's two ways you can make them. Like you make them extra thick like that, and here's a thought also: is not all chains have to be circle. I've been kind of making some alongside with you. I decided to use rectangles for mine.
Rectangles? Okay, yeah, let's do a rectangle. How are you doing rectangles?
So I'm making very much similar, same way, right? I'm increasing the thickness of the black border.
Yeah.
And then, making the inside hollow. And then I'm actually rotating them on a pivoted edge. So that way, here, let me share my screen with you.
Okay. Let's check it out. Can you turn off your music there?
I sure can.
Okay, perfect. Oh goodness.
And
I'm gonna blow Mr. Joe's screen up a little bit bigger for stream real quick.
take a little one, you use the little one to kind of put it in there, and you can copy the big one and kind of have it attached like that.
Okay, yeah.
And you get like a little chain link. And then once you have them all together, something else that you can also do is click this cool group button, and you can shrink them all down together, and keep that way they keep their same size and they stay together. And you can actually copy that one, paste that one, and you have a second link. Now,
Yeah.
kind of the cheat way to do it that I found, if like, ooh, didn't want to shrink it like that. Let me. Oh no, I messed it up. Okay, there we go. Is you always want to work bigger and then go smaller.
Mm.
Because when you shrink it down, it's hard to like maneuver the individual parts. So like for this, I can copy this and then drag this up to here, and then once I have like this shape, I can make it however many lengths I want long. So
Right.
I can copy that, paste it, and then drag this up. Boom, I have another chain.
Awesome.
So that's how you would do it with rectangles. You can make identically the same thing with circles. Ooh, come here. Sorry,
Yeah,
my little
100%.
dog has grabbed an important piece of paper.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. Well,
Sorry.
that happens with animals sometimes.
Here, I'll actually show everybody my little pup paper. So she can cameo on the screen. Wow.
Is she gonna get keyed out like as green screen?
We'll find out in 2 seconds.
So, again, instead of doing like copy and paste on the keyboard, you can also just click copy here and paste, and then with the select tool, you can just drag it out.
All right.
As
Oh,
well.
look, she appears. Kind of.
Oh yeah. Heart here. Let me click on. There we go. You can see a little bit bigger. Say hello, doggo, in the chat. It's Rosie. Is the name of the dog?
Rosie's her name.
Oh, she's super cute. Well, that's
She's
cool.
like, yeah, let me down.
Discord can recognize that Rosie's worth sharing. So it's like hard to know. I don't even have the chat up there. Okay. All right. All right. Cool. So we'll go to this point. I think what I'm going to do is actually make the links thinner, so they look like
that
they're
I did like that they are I did like the thinner, yeah.
So it's like, again, because this is 2D animation, this is not 3D animation, that it looks like they're the same size links, they're just on a different axis, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so now we can.
The whole point of it is making it so that we can have like a chain.
Yeah, I don't know. I think mine looks like a chain. Like I think it's pretty decent actually.
Mm-hmm. Yours is like the circle chain links. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. Okay, so then. So there's pros and cons. Like we could just do this. I think I should have done what you said, actually, Mr. Joe. Is group. So
yes, grouping makes moving objects around so much easier.
When you have, I would say, an even number of links, like 4 or 6, and then you click that group, and now they are all one group. And the cool thing is you can ungroup them if you want to edit them individually, and we will need to do that. Like, we will 100% need to do that. So now we have this again. Click on copy, click on paste, boom, kind of overlap them. And
now, there's 2 ways we can animate this. I wanted to ask, which way are we animating it? Are we doing changing of the costumes animation, or are we going to have it based on when we click the green flag and have 2 separate sprites move away from one another?
I was thinking even more complicated, potentially.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I think all the animation is going to happen within a single sprite, but
okay.
The sprite's definitely going to change over time, and so
again, we're doing the changing costume animation method.
Yeah. So we're going to call this sprite the chain. On the bottom right, you can change the name, And so that's what we're going to do.
So it'll be like right over here above my head
Yeah.
is where you can change the sprite name.
Yep.
Right where it says sprite.
And then over on the top left, it's going to say costumes. And there is a super awesome little hack, little cheat that we can do. And
This is my favorite. Is duplicate.
That's right. We right click and then we hit duplicate. So before we go any further, definitely put in the chat where you are. I feel like I'm going a little bit fast. I want to make sure everybody's at least got a chain. So if not, we can like pause, reverse. The next part is like a little bit slower, but
If you have a fully drawn chain, whether it is my style, the rectangle chain style, or Mr. Thor style, which is the circle style, just type chain in the chat. So that way we know that you guys are done with the chain, so we know to move forward.
I'm going to put chain in the chat. It's Cutter Kids.
Also put chain in the chat.
There we go. Okay, perfect. Yeah, in the meantime, I suppose you could have anything for the backdrop. So because I'm done with the chain, I'm going to go to the backdrop again. And I don't know. I guess you could do anything, really. You know, stars. You could do like just like a color.
This I added a city for my background.
You could take
the metro.
Yeah, okay. You could take.
Well, actually, you know what? I like your idea with the blue sky.
You could literally do any color you want. That is a terrible color choice. Don't want to do pink. Yeah. Maybe like an orange or something like that.
All right.
Yeah, who knows?
T. Readerly has put in chain, and they're ready to move on.
Okay, perfect.
I'm going to wait a little bit longer. Give everybody another 5 more minutes.
So, yeah, one thing you can do is... This is a fun little gradient trick, but and again, you don't have to do this. Is you have 2 different colors, and the gradient is going to go between those colors. And so one thing I like to do is make the color the same, and then just reduce saturation a little bit. And so what you end up with, what is this little, there's like a weird little speck. What is going on?
So you're on the yeah. Because the paint bucket lets you make like this little circle around it.
Yeah.
If you so remember, there's 3 different types of gradients you can use.
Oh yeah, no, I know for a fact. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's I'm just trying to change the saturation here. So there's like a top down gradient. There's a left right gradient, and then there's like a circle gradient, and you can kind of choose where the circle goes with that one.
My personal favorite is the top-down gradient.
Top-down gradient is pretty cool. Yeah. It's just like softer to look at, I think. So I'm going to stick with this orange just because it's like easy to look at and you can still see the chain.
I went for a mixture of blues.
You did blues. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We missed the backdrop part. Again, backdrop's not really necessary, but you can find it by going to the bottom right, clicking choose a backdrop, or what we were doing was paint a backdrop. And then in this backdrop, you just click on the paint bucket.
It was chat delayed for me.
Paint bucket does not work on vector. I think you gotta go to bitmap. Yeah. So if it says convert to bitmap, do that. And then you can click on it and select like which 2 colors that you're going to use. And again, you can use any color. Like here you could go, you could have a really aggressive pink and then a solid orange. as well. And I think I clicked twice. Yeah. So if you just click once, then you can get that fun gradient effect. And sorry for all the flashing, folks. Yeah. So it just depends on what colors you want. You can do any colors. They've got it. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to go back to the chain. So you see how the purple outline right where it says stage, there's like a purple outline. That means that's what we're working on. So we're going to click on chain. And when we click on chain, we're going to see this pop back up. And wow, you can use the gradient on each and every individual link too, which is cool, but we're not going to.
Not exactly what we're going for
Not
here.
exactly. We're not trying to make the chain more realistic at this point. Okay. So what we're going to need to do is animate the chain slowly breaking over time. Now, I'm not an animation expert, so we're gonna do this kind of one step at a time and see really like what happens. Okay.
So for everyone else out there, what we're doing right now is kind of like stop motion animation, where we're doing one tiny little thing, moving it, changing it ever so slightly, and rinse, recycle, and repeating.
Yeah, there's two different ways, at least two different ways you can animate. You can animate the kind of big events and then animate the in-betweens, but we're just going to animate step by step. So, different schools of thought. We're going to do the simpler one. That's like called keying, but we're just going to do the step by step. So you see how there's like a little bit of slack in these links here? I'm actually going to create, what I'm going to do is select these two groups, and I'm going to click ungroup. And now you can select each individual link. And I'm actually going to shove the links together here because I want it to be even more dramatic. Because before the chain breaks, I'm going to have the links like tighten. Does that make sense? So I'm even going to put one more in here. So there's some gaps even in this chain. Yeah.
That's the way so that they don't go anywhere.
So who doesn't go anywhere?
Oh, that's so that way the chains can stay together whenever you move them ever so slightly. They don't go out of crazy control.
So you can already see from this frame to this frame that it looks like the chain is being pulled tight. And then I'm going to click duplicate again. Every time you want to do a new one, you click duplicate. And then I'm going to probably start from the middle, pulling it this way. Oh, looks like I gotta ungroup that too. And I gotta ungroup that one.
Apologize for any background noise you just heard.
What is it?
My laundry is done.
Oh no, we did not hear anything.
Anything
at all.
Big
no.
buzzer just went off from from my washer. I was like, oh, laundry's done.
I have my kids screaming in the background, so you might be able to hear them too. So I'm basically pulling the chain link as far and as tight away as it can be, right? So you see if you click on the costumes, 1, it's kind of a loose chain, tightens a little bit. 3 tightens even further. You could even potentially, I mean, I'm not going to do this, but you could even make these individual links even straighter. I'm not going to do that because we're not trying to make it perfect, but
Trying to get it done.
yeah, so loose links where there's a large degree of overlap here. And then taking out some of that slack and then really tightening it to show that stress. And then I'm going to duplicate again. Now I will just say the number of costumes on the left side doesn't have to be exactly the same. We're just talking about the general principles here at this point. And the more we animate them, like, it might be more and more different.
Yeah.
So,
They're definitely going to change as we go from one to the other. Like mine already looks vastly different than yours, which I mean can also have a contributing part to the fact that my links are squares and
yeah.
rectangles instead of.
Yeah, and you have like 2 different size of links. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that makes sense too. Also, just a quick note at the end of the stream, everybody participating in the stream will get a free private lesson code. And so you can put that code in on our website and get a free private lesson one-on-one, usually $60 value. So definitely stay tuned to the end of the stream for that. That's something we're doing for free. So nothing for sale today. It is a day celebrating freedom and free stuff. Okay. So costume 3 and costume 4 are the same, and where they're really, really tight, but we're going to start to see some different things. Now, what you could do is show stretch marks or things like that, but this is metal, and when you stress metal, I think what you're going to see is it breaking. Now, this is where Mr. Joe is correct again. You want to get in close. So there's this magnifying glass here at the bottom right. And it is, well, it helps you zoom in. You can zoom in as far as you need. And so right here, I think what we can show is maybe some breakage, some like cracking happening in the links themselves. You can use kind of whatever color that you want. I'm trying to think if I should like.
I mean, for mine, I was actually erasing some bits of my chain.
Yeah, just erasing it. That kind of makes sense. You could also, if you're fancy, I'm gonna try out maybe some different things, but
there are different techniques you can use when maneuvering your chain around.
Yeah, I could use the reshape tool. Yeah, but the problem with that is it still wants to be a shape. Does that make sense? Like, so you can...
Yeah. Like, slowly, like, kind of manipulate and bend it.
Yeah, but that just... I don't know. I think that just kind of looks ugly. So, we're gonna... The undo tool is amazing. Because you can try out anything with kind of no consequences. Right? Now the chain link looks fine again. So, yeah, I think might come in here with the paintbrush or the eraser. And for the eraser, I probably should go over the tools, I guess. But the select tool just lets you like move stuff around, resize it, that kind of stuff. The reshape tool lets you make basically new shapes out of stuff like we just did. The erase tool lets you erase. So whatever you draw, it'll cut out of what you're making. The text tool lets you type. I'm typing with invisible ink, guys. I don't know what I thought was going to happen, but it turned out to be absolutely nothing. Yeah, you're going to want to make sure you select a color. Otherwise, nothing will happen.
Yep.
That is hilarious. Yeah, the line tool, you're not going to believe this. It does lines. Okay? So, again, one is...
Away!
You don't say. So, the line tool, one is going to be super thin. Obviously, you can make it as chunky as you want. These lines are quite thick. So this is 100. And again, I'm going to be using the undo tool as well. One thing you might notice is that the thicker lines, they all have rounded edges, okay? in bitmap version, which we're not going to go to, everything is pixelated. Basically, everything's going to have a square edge, like a sharp edge. Right now, we're in like vector mode. And then we used the circle tool earlier, and then there's also the rectangle tool. I guess they're technically called what? Rectangle. No, it is circle and rectangle. That's funny they call it the circle instead of the oval tool, and they call it the rectangle instead of the square. It's like, whatever. They can do what they want, I guess. Anyway,
See, that was the program they made.
Yeah. We love Scratch. It came from MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Say that 10 times fast. You get 2 free private lessons. Just kidding. Okay, so I'm going to take the eraser, and we're just going to start playing around. Okay? But something like, you could do something straight. You could do... Yeah, see, I don't know if this is even going to be dramatic enough. So you see how there's like a broken link here? But I kind of want to show strain as well, so I wonder if I did like some kind of vertical thing. I think the problem with the eraser is it's trying to like take out whole sections. So again, you can do this however you want to at home. Which for everyone sounds like is in Houston, Texas. So, and I'm including Katie in that, even though that's where I'm at. Okay, so if you do the paintbrush, kind of lets you, it's not going to take out an entire section, so that might work better for you. It's going to be up to you. Up close, this looks really dumb, but zoomed out, it actually looks okay. So again, you could use black, you could use white, you could use like bright
Kinds of different colors you can use.
And again, the
I use
paint
the
bucket
delete
tool is
key.
your friend. So, oh, weird. Okay, you don't want the gradient on this one. So the fourth option is no gradient at all. So right there, the red's kind of dramatic, kind of not realistic, but dramatic, where it's kind of showing like this energy around it. And I think I'm going to go dramatic. Also, I'm going to make a new shape. So I'm going to kind of zoom out. And I'm going to make a new shape. Basically with a bunch of... I'm just going to make a rectangle. I'm going to make it the outline is actually, I'm going to go blank on this one. On the outline. And the fill is going to be something like a yellow. I guess we're doing like a yellow, orange, red kind of color palette here. Again, it's not perfect. I'm not an expert in color theory, but I'm just going to do this yellow box. And I'm going to go to the reshape tool. And here's the thing. I'm going to make this kind of like, you know those for sale signs? I'm basically going to try to do lots of little points. I'm going to just add a lot of little points to this. And I'm going to, kind of drag every other one in. And if I have an unequal number, like here, I'm just going to make one more. This is kind of like a for sale sign. Those like, on sale now, or authorized by Nintendo.
It is now.
Yeah. And I'm going to try to make them even, but not perfect. But they're a little bit too dopey for me, a little bit too rounded. So what I'm going to do is drag those, what do you call these? I don't even know what you call these. Little squares. And
You know, those little so those would be like pen points, or because they adjust how your pen is adjusting your custom shape tool.
cool. Sounds good. We'll go with it. And so if you put these closer to that circle, we can get in like super close so you can see this. It's a lot sharper. And we're trying to get to be sharp.
See, I use the line tool and just drew a bunch of lines together.
And then you just fill that. That was the other thing I was thinking. And that's the cool thing about coding is you can really
There's different ways to solve the problem.
yeah, you can we've already talked about 10 ways from Tuesday doing this project. So that's honestly the beautiful thing here. And with doing it Mr. Joe's ways, you don't need to adjust every single point like this. You can just make the points how you want them. Okay, I think we have every point but this one. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so now everything's... Here, let me zoom out. And I can kind of position the points where I want. I don't want this to be perfectly even because it's supposed to be kind of aggressive. It's showing like, hey, there's a real break here. That looks closer, I think. Yeah. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to position this break right here at that. This is kind of like, I don't know what you want to call it, like an action star right at the site of the chain. But I want it to kind of be in the background. So it's like, how do you do that? Well, if you're drawing on paper, you can't. You can't just say, hey, ink, I want you to go to the back, right, Joe? Yeah, like,
That'd be cool. It'd be like, hey, I messed up this. Can we just push it away and forget about it?
That's right. But in Scratch, you can. And so you can say, you can have it go forward or backward. So I'm going to say, hey, go backward. And now you can see like ketchup on a hot dog. The red comes up here. But then you still can't see the chain. So you go backwards some more, backwards some more, backwards some more. And then you get it behind one of these chains and then backwards some more. Now, if you want to do the easy way, you can just hit back and it goes to the very back. So this way, there's some highlighting of what's happening. The yellow is acting as like a highlighter. And then we're going to actually have this, this star kind of grow over time. So what I'm going to do is actually shrink the whole star down right here. And we're going to kind of grow it over a couple frames. Okay. I'd love to hear from Sarah how you guys are doing, and also Readerly. I don't know whether to call you T or what we should call you, but let us know where you're at and what we can do to help. Because of course, you know the next thing I'm going to do. I'm going to duplicate it. And again, so far what we're doing is, let's kind of zoom out here. Although you can see on the right what's happening is it's going from here to here, getting stretched out and pulled tight, which honestly I love that look. To there's like a little crack and some like energy coming out. And then this stage, we're gonna just grow it a little bit. And probably just throw on some more red ink, honestly. And if you want to match a color that you've used before, you go here, you go to the paint dropper tool. Is it called the paint dropper? Eyedropper?
To get your colors back in order.
Yeah, and you can tell because the color will show up in the ring. So as soon as you have the pixel over the color, like yellow, The ring will be yellow, gray, it'll go gray, and red, it'll go red. So it'll match that perfect color. And then I'm going to paint again. So I'm going to kind of zoom in. We're just going to throw another red streak down there to show even more breakage. So again, boom, boom. The other thing I'm going to do to make this star realistic. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, you're making your star realistic. I did the opposite. I mean, mine hyper unrealistic.
I mean, I don't know. There's not actually going to be probably sparks flying when you break a chain, but I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, and I'm going to rotate it too. So that there's this kind of like movement. And the great thing is you can decide what looks good. V is showing me all her cool scratch skills she learned and is learning now. Okay, awesome. All right, cool. T and V. Let's see. How's Evan doing? Well, if you're still with us, it looks like we got 5 watching now. So if you just joined, we'd love to hear in the chat where you're from, you know, what you're doing, how you're celebrating Juneteenth, all those things. This is how I'm celebrating. We're breaking chains. Very on the nose. Okay.
Seems very appropriate.
So I'm going to be rotating my star here some more, and probably dramatically on this next one. I think I want it to be the final one where, and you know what? I think I'm going to zoom out. No, changing my mind all the time. We're going to make this star like really big, kind of dramatically bigger on that last one. And I'm going to rotate it some more. And we're going to do even more red. I'm going to go back to that paintbrush again. Back to that red again. So again, nothing new under the sun here. We're just going to draw these squiggly red lines here and here. We're really breaking these chains. And then what I'm going to do to the chain links even is I'm going to move them just a little bit more out. So they look like they can't possibly go anymore. At this point, it's like an extra little pull, and then they're finally going to snap. Which is like this moment we've been building up to. Okay, so 1, chain's kind of loose. 2, it gets tightened. 3, tighten some more. 4, there starts to be a little bit of a rift. 5, there's more of a rift. I actually think the yellow could be a little bit bigger. Okay. And sometimes it's important to look between them to see. So then there starts to be a break, middle break. Then then the last one, there's like a little bit even further of a pull. And then I think I'm going to do something kind of that's like a trick, like a hack. Joe, you know in anime when there's like explosions?
Oh yeah, I do want explosions in anime.
One of the tricks that they do to feel like there's something big that happened is kind of a cheat. And that's to do the entire screen white.
That is. They also, those are what is known as impact frames. Either make the screen entirely white or entirely black with like white outlines.
Yeah, or both. Black than white. I think we'll just... try to think. But I feel like that's actually a code thing. I think because then I'd have to switch the backdrop too.
think we can definitely make that a code thing to make it switch to be maybe even another hidden sprite.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, a hidden sprite that triggered at the end of costume 6. I think that could be cool. So this is a coding stream, so it might be appropriate
Might
to
be
I
do
don't
some
know.
coding.
Good to do some coding. We're like an hour deep in the stream. We haven't even seen code once at this point. Goodness gracious. I'm surprised they're not rioting in chat. Like, where's the code?
We came for coding. Secretly,
That's
they
like-
actually all just here for the private lesson codes at the end of the stream.
That's right.
That's what I'm here for.
They're like, I'm here for the free stuff. We have 6 viewers now. Maybe they know. Okay, awesome. So we're gonna actually go to the code now, and you can have this code basically anywhere, but it is right now on the chain sprite. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna click on events, which is yellow, and you're gonna drag in when the green flag is clicked. And again, I'm gonna just blow up my code here so it's super obvious, super big, when the green flag is clicked. That just means when the project starts. So when the project starts, you're gonna go to looks, because that's what we're dealing with animation, is how things look. And we're gonna switch costume to costume 1. So now you can see this is not the first costume, but when I click the green flag, boom, like magic, now it's here. I'm gonna drag the chain a little bit to the left, but yeah, switch costume to costume 1. And so now if I go into costumes and I click on costume 6 or whatever,
It'll always reset to the beginning.
yeah, boom. So it always goes back to the right place. And then I think after I click the green flag, I think I just want it to basically animate immediately. So I'm going to not say anything. It's just going to keep switching. But I think here's a teaching moment. If we duplicate, and we can either drag these in or whatever. Costume 1, 2, 3. Oh, what? 3, 4. Mr. Joe, what's going to happen when I do code like this?
You see, if you do code like that, you're gonna be there till probably next year.
That's true, but when I click the green flag, why isn't it showing me costume 1?
So why is it not doing anything? So when you click the green flag, the code reads it, switch to the costume 1, then switch to costume 2, switch to costume 3, switch to costume. Goes all the way through it so lightning fast that it doesn't give it a moment for our screen to actually catch up and wait to actually see what it is that we've changed. It kind of reads the code and kind of jumps all the way to the end.
Yeah, I think you're saying it's faster than our eyeballs.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
kind of the simpler way to say it.
But what you said is more correct. So basically, we want to put in a weight in the middle, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think so. So I think if you did 1 second, let's see what happens here. Well, then of course we have to do a weight in between every single one. Yeah.
Yep, we have to because then it skips that last one.
But this is
I say skips, and it was way faster than our eyeballs can track.
Yeah. So, but this is where you're talking about loops, though.
Yeah, because if we just do that, you're doing a very repetitive task over and over and over again. So why not simplify it in code?
Yeah, I think that's right. So
in fact, Mr. Thor, can I show you my code?
Oh yeah, let's do that.
So I really liked what your code was doing, but when I looked at it, I was like, man, this is going to take literally forever.
All right, we're blowing up your video here.
All right, let me make sure to mute my music.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
Okay. You got a few tabs up there. Why don't you F11 that bad boy? There we go.
All right, so the um the code I created was very similar to y'all's code, right? I still use this kind of as like a reset point. But then I added what is functionally the same code that everyone else was making, right? The go to next costume and then wait. And I have it on something that is considered a forever loop, meaning as soon as it does this wait for 0.01 seconds, then next costume, it'll just keep doing this and go through my entire animation, which let me see, there we go.
Ah.
I kind of added a little bit extra at the end. I start kind of taking up the whole screen.
Oh, that is super cool.
So that little bit at the end that I did there for the letters is no different than what we had worked on before. All I did is I would just type in one letter per frame.
Holy.
And just kind of add
Look at that
to it. But yes, it takes, if you can see every single one, it takes a little bit to do all this animation. And then to make it stay on the end, like Happy Juneteenth, to stay on this for a little bit, I actually just duplicated these. So they're still switching to the costume. But because the costume is the same, it gives it kind of a little freeze frame effect.
Yeah, you're tricking the eyes essentially.
Mm-hmm.
It's still switching.
It's still constantly switching the backgrounds. The only difference being is, well, the background's the same, or the sprite's the same.
and then it's actually looping, and that's because it goes, whatever your end one is, it actually jumps over to the first one.
All the way back to the top, yep.
Yeah.
To this first one right here. 100%. And it's
percent.
funny is I can actually click it in the middle of the animation, and because of the way that the code is, it'll just keep going right from wherever I click it from. So if I clicked it from here, it would continue the code from there. Because of the way that it's structured, it checks, okay, did I wait 1 second? All right, next costume.
Yeah, well, that's 100th of a second, technically.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right, 100th of a second.
So that's like slightly different. I think on mine, I mean, I might do 1/10 of a second. And
I mean, this is what it looks like with 1/10 of a second. A little bit slower.
Yeah. It depends again on how many you want to draw, right?
Mm-hmm. Funny enough, whenever you put it in a forever loop, because now the code has to think about, okay, I go to the next costume and jump back to the top, there's a slight delay. Very minuscule, but it actually allows it to still do that animation loop.
Yeah. We'll not talk about turbo mode.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be a secret for private secret. Turbo mode is a real thing. And if you want to learn about it, let us know. We'll set up lessons.
I think my coolest part that I've learned with this one is if you just wanted to end on, let's say, for example, Happy Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Instead of doing the little freeze frames that I did here, is let's say this one right here is my last Happy Juneteenth frame, which is costume number 36, I believe. So if I were to switch to costume one instead of doing a forever and grab a repeat and put this inside and do repeat 36 times, or actually it would have to be 35 times because we start on the first costume.
Yeah.
It'll end on the 36th frame, which of course is my Happy Juneteenth.
Awesome. Yeah, well, that's what I was going to tell you, was that I wasn't going to do a forever loop. I was going to do a repeat loop.
Well, it looks like I beat you to it.
Yeah. We both have the gift of gab here at Coder Kids, so it's something we're good at. So instead of my code, well, you can't see the code that I'm doing, huh?
Let me close my stream so that way we can see your code once more.
You know, honestly, we could just stream the Discord screen, and then I could just join the Discord call. Potentially.
True. All right, there you go. So now that way people can see your screen once more.
Yeah. Okay. So here I am, and I'm gonna share this screen. Click on it, and we're gonna full screen that. Yeah. So yeah, I think we could just do that.
Yeah, you just click the little full screen button right there. Boom.
Yeah. Oh, except when I'm coding, then it doesn't work.
Yeah, it says stream is still running. So yeah.
Yeah.
Great in practice, great in thought, but
in theory, yeah. Okay. And imagine if I didn't know what I was doing. That would be even harder.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna just focus on you, Joe. Mr. Joe. And
I've been put in the corner.
and we're back. And we're back.
All right.
Yes, we're each in our corners. The twain never shall meet. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here to looks. I'm gonna go to next costume instead of saying, hey, which costume? But I think we'll still have switch to costume number 1 here just to make sure we're starting in the right place. Now, if you look at the number of costumes, we only have 6, so we'd probably just put repeat 5 in here. And if you look, this 1/10 of a second it looks a little bit jumpy. So if we go to like a 20th of a second, that would be like 0.05. I think it looks a little bit more fluid. I think 0.05 is pretty good. Between 0.01 and 0.05, I think is golden.
Mm-hmm. I like 0.01 because it's nice and smooth, but not too fast.
Yeah, see, it looks like this one's a little much for my project. And you can kind of play around with these numbers. That's the nice thing about coding, is it gives you all of the control. Like 100% of the control. I'm going to go back to the costumes here so I can actually see this chain break. We've teased it this like whole time, right? Now, I guess here's the question. Oh, yes, this is the answer in code. So right now, I'm going to have it do this loop. But then at the end of this loop, I'm going to have it literally hide. Right? So we can do that. What did you call it? The frame.
Kind of disappear and be done. So after 5, it disappears.
No,
the impact frame.
The impact frame. That's it, my guy. Okay. So then we're going to have it hide. So then it like disappears. But here's the problem. If I click the green flag, it's not showing. So now I have to drag show to the top of my code. And then the impact frame goes here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it send a message. Broadcast a message. And we're going to call the message, we're just going to call it flash. And we're going to draw another sprite. This one's going to be easy, folks. It's literally just white. So it doesn't matter what color you choose, because we're going to turn saturation to 0. Wait, what? This is my AI detection tool. I was like, what is that? So you can draw any rectangle, and I don't have an outline, so it doesn't really matter. And I'm going to draw the sprite to be bigger than the actual canvas, so that essentially the entire, oh, excuse me here. My AI detection tool is on. I'm a teacher. I grade papers. Sometimes I need to detect AI. So this is just a giant white rectangle. And right now it's on top of everything. So it's literally covering everything. We're going to call this flash, and we're going to go to the code on this one. Now, all the code we have before is on chain. Over here on flash, we're going to click when the green flag is clicked. Well, actually, I'm going to go to control. There it is. Under events, it's when I receive flash. So when the green flag is clicked, what do we want to do with the rectangle? Honestly, we want it to hide. We don't want people to know it's there. So click on the green flag. No white rectangle, right? When I receive flash, I'm just going to click show. Boom. Um, let's see. You know what? I kind of want to do black and white. Actually, I keep changing my mind on this program today. I'm gonna click duplicate. On frame 1, we're gonna fill it with black. Okay. On frame 2, it's gonna be white. Why did it change the way the blocks look? Oh, that's weird. I have no idea why I did that.
Your AI detector?
No, like, all the text on the screen was black. It was very strange.
It's strange.
I've never seen that before. Okay. So, when I receive Flash, I'm going to switch costume to costume 1. Show. Wait. Again, so we've learned all of these things. I'm going to wait 0.04 seconds. And then I'm going to go to show costume 2. Wait 0.04. And then I'm going to hide again. So now let's see what happens. Whoa, it goes so fast, Joe.
Telling you.
Boom. And if I'm being honest, I'm going to slow this animation down to like 0.6. See if it makes a difference. Boom. I love how it like explodes the entire chain away.
It's gone.
Goodbye forever. This is how much we love you, slavery, is that this chains don't even exist anymore.
Gone.
So I'm gonna wait. We have to kind of play with the wait tool on this side. Maybe wait 1 second and click show again. Let's see what happens. Boom. Ooh, no, 1 second is way too long. All right. Nope, still too long. Maybe just 0.2 seconds. Almost, yeah. I think probably just like 1 point. Whoop. This is like this is just like artistic, really. Boom. Sorry for all the flashing. Hopefully no seizures here. We're not trying to make that happen. Then I'm gonna go back to costumes. We've got the flash. I like it. I like the timing. And at this point, this yellow thing, it grew into that flash. So I'm gonna delete it now. And I'm gonna zoom in here. And I think Joe's correct. I'm gonna use the erase tool for this one, because this part of the chains, they're not the same anymore. So I'm gonna just wholesale erase all this down, and I'm gonna kind of increase this and just do a bunch of little strokes and erase that part of the chain. But I think I want it to be a little bit more jagged than that. And so I'm going to do the fill. I'm going to click on the gray. And I'm going to have it like be a little bit raw. Oh, hold on. And I'm drawing kind of fast, but essentially I want it to show that like the chains were
broken apart.
Yeah, broken.
Like they were connected and now they've snapped.
Yeah, they don't look smooth anymore. They're damaged. And I'm just kind of scribbling in. And similar to you, Joe, I think I'm gonna make the chains kind of fade away, but in a different way. And that's the cool thing, is we can all do this I think that's the theme of the day, is when you're doing art, which
You
this,
kind of have your own freedom about it.
yeah, you can do it how you like, and that's the beautiful thing. This is not a metallurgically correct drawing. We're going for vibes. So if you zoom out, look, that metal is clearly broken. And if we want to, we can even just do some like metal squiggles down here. Like these are some metal pieces that have broken off even. Zoom in on that. Use the paint bucket tool and fill those in even. Honestly, I kind of like that. That's kind of a cool vibe. If I click on one, I can copy, paste, and I can rotate them and move them down if I want. Honestly, I don't know why. I really like that. As this is happening, then I want to animate the chain kind of falling, like the way a chain might fall. So I'm going to duplicate. And then these little bits, they're going to fall further, you know? They're all going to fall down. So I'm just going to click them, drag them down. I feel like Bob Ross right now. These happy little pieces. Right?
Just maneuvering down here.
And then the chain itself starts to like, uh-oh. Nope. I'm going to do what Joe
Chain's
reminded
having
us to do. I'm going to group them. I'm going to group that, and then I'm going to group that.
Yeah, grouping them will always make your time so much more easier.
Yeah. Now, because I want to be fancy, I'm going to be like animating every single link here. I have a couple of links. Yeah, so I'm going to rotate these. So now, yeah, they're rotating. This one's rotating a little bit. This one's rotating a little bit. This one's rotating a little bit. This one's like moving a little bit further down. I'm dragging this one down a little bit. So you get this like boom, flash, break. Ooh, even, yeah, and then they start falling. Even this one, though, I think these ones should move back. Like they,
I do like that little bend right there. That looks great.
boom. Uh-oh. What did I not do? I had no. Oh, I can't undo it either. I can't undo it because I switched. I gotta drag them back to their respective homes. Okay. So, yeah, here, boom, they recoil, but those other links are just hanging there in time, and then the chain's starting to slack in. Man, I'm using all kind of vocab words today. Gonna duplicate that. These little bits are just gonna, well, they're all kind of flying in their own trajectories. Fall a little bit further. Right. And then you zoom out, and you know, this is turning way down. This is much further down. This one's further down. Over here, this one's like, might as well delete that circle at this point. It's off screen. So you go boom, boom, boom. And then duplicate again. And honestly, I'm just going to move this further this way. Rotate it even further. We're almost to where the chain's just completely off screen at this point. This whole thing's coming down. The whole thing's kind of changing a little bit. Let's see. Oh, but I didn't move the bits. This is why you gotta check the frames. Goodness. I think we only have one more frame in us. But this is going down, this is going down, this is going down. Okay, let's look. Honestly, this shouldn't even be in the frame anymore. These should be like all the way down. Again, trying to simulate physics like just with my mind, not with a real engine. And then
Kind of make it look cool in 2D style.
yeah, I think we're just gonna do one more frame, and all these are gone. They're just totally gone. All of these, all you can see is just a tiny little frame there, and then this falls down to here, barely visible, and then duplicate it once more, and it's just gone. And this one is gone as well. So it's honestly a blank frame. So we are going to click the green flag, see what we've got so far. Oh boy. What? We gotta work on the code here. Wait 2 seconds and show. But now we need to copy the code from here, right? Go to the next costume. But how many costumes do we have? So again, we've got 12 total. So we start on 1. We move 5, so then we go to 6. Then before we show, though, I think we should switch to a very specific costume, which is the next one. So it would be costume 7. Show. Then 7. So then we go to basically 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, it actually is 5. Okay. So let's see if it's any good. Oh, that's super cool. Get that little flashbang. The flashbang might be too much.
I mean, the flash adds like character to it.
Boom. I like how the chain goes limp and then it kind of pulls apart. Like, if you were real fancy, I think you'd move the links even more. But anyway, we're done. We're done there. So it is now 3:20 p.m. Central, which everybody's in Central pretty much anyway. And it's been a fun ride. The second part is really for you to do at home, and that is to say, hey, what is my story going to be about? What is my future going to look like? Right? Am I going to be a computer science person? Am I going to be a developer? Am I going to make websites or video games? Am I going to, be a teacher, doctor, lawyer? I always wanted to grow up and be a dolphin trainer. That was like a cool thing. That was a cool thing in the 90s, right? But this is the part where you put in your own story. And I've given you some of the tricks of animation, but you can have people walking around. You can have a spaceship up there. You want to go to space. You want to live on Mars. Don't tell your mom. But lots of cool things you could do. So that's kind of been the lesson for today. And yeah, just absolutely happy Juneteenth, everybody. If you have a link and you want to share the project, I'm going to share my project right now. Mine's called Juneteenth Chain Break. My username is Speedy Thor. I'm going to go ahead and put this link in the chat so you can actually look at this project as well. And if you want to, you can remix it. So there should be like, Mr. Joe, if you click on it, there should be like a remix button on this.
Yep, I just clicked it and there is a remix button. I can make my own version of this.
Yeah, so now he can make his own version. He can change the color of the chain links. right? He can put in his story after the fact, right? So that's, it's just super cool. It's really interesting. I'm gonna go back to showing me in full screen. I know I'm not as pretty as Scratch, but I want to make sure that everybody has access to the free code. So get your pen and paper down. I'm not going to be giving this code after the live stream. And so the live stream will be up so you can view it later if you want to like rewatch how to do things. But I think I'll edit it out so the code's not there. So I am literally making the code inside of our system right now. And this code is good through the month of August. Okay, so if it takes you a month or two to use it, that's okay. And we're gonna call it well, I'll tell you what I'm gonna call it. We're gonna call it Juneteenth freebie. Okay, so go ahead and write that down. That is a it's
Free code for free private lesson with Coder Kids.
Yeah, so I'm going to set that to expire August 31st, and the percentage is 100% off. Okay, it is 100% off, and I'll go ahead and click submit. And I'm gonna put it on screen here, and we're gonna kind of zoom it in so that everybody can. Yeah. I want you to use this. You patiently waited with us. So here it is. Here it is. Juneteenth freebie. I did spell that correctly, right?
I believe so.
Should be correct. Juneteenth freebie. Again, that's the expiration date. Feel free to take a picture, snap a picture, whatever you got to do. But I've got.
And James, if I were to use this code, where would I go to sign up?
Don't you know? That's a great question. You go to our private tutoring website where we may or may not have done 2,446 private lessons so far. So I've put the link for the chat, link in the chat for the lessons. And what you do is just go on this website and you look through our instructors. Again, snap that photo of Juneteenth freebie. Should be pretty. Of course, it's misspelled. Okay, sorry. And then you head on over to our private lesson website here. And you see how many lessons we've done every day. You kind of wait and you'll see this number go up. You've got Tabitha DeFee, Darrell, Carter, Italia, Samson, Josiah, Eric. These are all wonderful instructors. They kind of have different things going for them, right? You look at Josiah, you say, well, I want to know more about him. I click on him. He's got his biography. He does Roblox game design. You want to learn how to make a Roblox game. That's super fun. Scratch is what I'm using today. So you can look at Scratch. And these instructors kind of randomized whenever you go back to the website. It's like, ooh, someone new. And Eric, Scratch game design and animation. Almost all of them have Scratch on them. Tabitha is great if you want to do web pages. She even can help you out with making 3D objects in Blender, and she's killer at Python, right? So they all kind of have different things. Italia is just amazing across the board. She's got a lot of students because of that. In fact, if she gets too many students, I'm gonna have to take her off the website. She won't have any more spots left, right? So that's the secret. Italia's got the most number of students here. Yeah, and look, if you require Joe, Mr. Joe himself, I might put in a good word, and we might tentatively say yes. So anyway, but that's the idea with private
I'll say
tutoring.
I'm usually by special order as
Yeah,
my work
Mr. Joe is
schedule.
special order. So
my work schedule has me busy most of the days out of the year, but um,
might be conditional.
yes, it might be conditioned depending on needs for
Yeah,
sure.
and then that's basically it. Private lessons are every single week, and what you can do with that is really dive deep into coding. You can kind of set it and forget it in the sense that it's great to set up at the start of a semester, and then we're a real person. We're not some like program. We're not artificial intelligence. We
I'll
use
say,
all
fear
of
not.
that.
Don't
Yeah.
don't worry. I'm not gonna. If you request me, and I be here, you or your kid's tutor for this, so you won't just hear, "Hi, welcome to Scratch Junior.
That's right.
Press button over on green flag." Don't worry, it's
Yeah.
not gonna happen.
No, the nice thing is it's really customized to every single child. Every set of lessons is different, and that allows you to pivot on the fly if you need to, but also to really build stuff that is entertaining that you really like. Now, today, the unfortunate thing is you've had to build basically what I've said, right? But in a private lesson, we would say like, "Hey T," or sorry, V, you know, what do you want to build? And then let's work on that. Do you want to build a game? Do you want to build a story? Do you want to build a website? Let's go and let's do that, right?
So as a private tutor myself, when I would go to tutor, I would just ask straight up to you or if you're the kid getting the lesson or the parents say, hey, what would you like to learn? What interests you? Oh, you like making video games? What kind
Yeah,
of video games? You like
exactly.
making puzzle games, or do you like making, you know, challenge run games? Depending on like if we're learning with Scratch or Python or Lua, which is Roblox. Um, we go from there, and I would like to kind of what I do is I kind of test where their skills and knowledge are. Like, what do they know already? Because you'd be surprised. A lot about coding is a lot about solving a problem that you yourself are creating, if that makes sense. At least
Yeah,
to me in certain ways. And
absolutely.
so, being able to see, okay, oh, a lot of these kids have great problem solving skills, but now we just need to fine tune that into, okay, this button means move this part of the code here, or this function, or this variable, and this is putting a lot of words to what coding language or typing code is for the computers.
Yeah, absolutely. So, um, we've got a poll running. I didn't know I could do pulse. That's
Oh, you
cool.
can do polls?
Yeah, I can do
Oh, that's
pulse.
awesome.
And that is, did you get the free code? And the answers are yes and no. So
Did you get the
hopefully it's
freebie?
yes.
Yes.
We are at one vote for yes, so that's good. Um, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this stream, end the stream. So if you didn't already grab the code, definitely do that. T
Bring grab it. It's
V,
about to be gone.
thanks for joining us. Sarah, thanks for joining us. Everybody else, also thank you for joining us. It's been a fun ride. All
Don't forget the
right.
code over there is Juneteenth freebie up on the
Yep.
top.
That's it. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. As always, james@coderkids.com. Oh, I spelled it wrong. James. Yeah, hey.
Coder Kid.
Yeah, coderkids.com. Perfect. Oh, it's funny. It took the @coderkids as like our YouTube channel. Which, that's true. That's fun. That's funny. All right. Thanks, Readerly. Toodles.